We'll be going over the credit limit worksheet for line 21 of IRS Schedule R. So certain lower income taxpayers may be eligible for a tax credit on Schedule R based on their savings habits. However, that credit can be subject to certain limitations and even a phase out. So even though this is a straightforward three-step form, we're going to walk through what all of these different areas mean. So we'll put some numbers in here for context, but the most important part is where each of these pieces of information come from. So let's start at the top with line 1. So this is the amount from your tax return, either your Form 1040 or your Form 1040 SR, line 18. What is line 18? Well, if you go to your Form 1040, your line 18 equals the total tax, which is on line 16, and then an adjustment amount on line 17. So that happens to be, if you go to IRS Schedule 2 and you look at line 3 and you trace that down, that happens to be a combination of two taxes. One is the alternative minimum tax, which you can calculate on IRS Form 6251. So if you didn't have to calculate anything on IRS Form 6251, then you don't have an alternative minimum tax to worry about. And if the other tax would be the excess advanced premium tax credit repayment. So for participants on the health insurance exchange, sometimes you might get an upfront tax credit based on the presumption of how much you're going to be entitled to, and this amount is supposed to help you pay your health insurance premiums during the tax year. But if for some reason your income is higher than you thought it was going to be, you may need to repay some of that credit or all of it, and you would use IRS Form 8962 to calculate it. So the AMT and the excess advanced premium tax credit repayment plus your previously existing tax liability, that is what constitutes line 18 right here. So let's just imagine that John Doe, our hero, had $10,000 a total. In line 2, we're going to enter the total amounts of certain tax credits from IRS Form 1040 Schedule 3, lines 1, 2, and 6L. So those lines are respectively, line 1 is the foreign tax credit, which you would calculate on IRS Form 1116. Line 2 is the credit for child and dependent care expenses, which you would calculate using IRS Form 2441. And finally, line 6L is the total tax increase or decrease as calculated on line 14 of IRS Form 8978, which is a partner's additional reporting year tax. So if you're not receiving the foreign tax credit, if you're not receiving a credit for child and dependent care expenses, and if you didn't have a partnership to report additional increase or decrease to your tax responsibility, then this amount would be zero. But let's just say in John Doe's case, it's $5,000. From here, it's a pretty straightforward process. You take the difference between line 2 and line 1, and you enter that here. That is the amount that you would then enter on line 21 of your Schedule R. And then you compare that to line 20. You take the smaller amount of those two calculations, and that ends up being your saver's credit that you report on line 60 of your Schedule 3 on your Form 1040. So that's all we have for this video. We do have a completely broken down article that we've written on Schedule R on being able to calculate your retirement savers credit. If you want to read that article, we'll put the link in the show notes. You can also go to our website, teachmepersonalfinance.com, type in IRS Schedule R, and you should see that article up here. We'll also put in links to all of the tax forms that we mentioned here, in case you might have a question on one or more of either the additional taxes or the tax credits that we mentioned during this video. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, as always, please post them in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you very much and have a great day.